And as we begin to talk about Joshua here, one of the things we got to know about Joshua is first he was serving underneath Moses. Joshua chapter 1 tells us very plainly. It says that one day God decided to take Moses home. He didn't have a heart attack. He didn't have diabetes. He didn't have cancer. He just went to sleep. Amen. How many knows that's a beautiful thing to do? He just went to sleep. And he called the angels, and the angels come and picked up the body of Moses, and they carried it off. He didn't even have a funeral. And so the Bible says that he wasn't stooped down in his back as he wasn't dim in his eyes. God just says it's time. And when God began to take Moses, the next person that was in line was underneath the shadows of Moses, and that's where he stood most of his life. I need to tell some of you men, this is a good place to remind you. Maybe you've been underneath shadows of people, and maybe it's time that God is speaking to you and telling you it's time to move on. Maybe he's telling you it's time to stand up and it's time to do what I have told you to do. Joshua was scared. He didn't want to. He was thinking, I can't do this. I'm not a leader. I just do what other people tell me to do. But God is looking down and he's looking into the future and he's seeing what Joshua is capable of. Here's the thing, dads. Here's what you do a lot of times. God speaks to you, and when he speaks to you, it is so far past where you are at that you get scared. See, because here's what God does. When he talks, he don't talk where you're at right now. Your wife can do that, and she does that. Never mind. But God talks to your future. And so it's something that you haven't seen yet, but he talks to it, and he tells you, this is what I'm going to do. And that's why sometimes we get scared. That's why sometimes we get intimidated. That's why sometimes we say, well, I'm not called to do that. But God is looking in your future, and so what he's saying to you, you can't see it. But the thing about it is, God don't need you to see it. He needs you to believe it.